Hello and welcome back to Green Street Elites and another edition of the In Crowd. As you can see to my left, young lady, Miss Hammerette. How are you, Missy?
Hi, yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Budge. Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it. First time
Uh,
I've ever done anything like this. So, yeah, bear with me.
oh no, you're fine, and thank you for braving it and choosing me to appear with for the first time. I really appreciate that. Actually, that's just goes to
Absolutely no
show
problem.
how far and wide the in crowd can go. I mean, people that are YouTubers have done it, and you're probably about the third person I've interviewed that's never done any YouTubing at all. People may remember that you did a small tribute when we lost Peach, and I put that
Yeah,
out on the channel as
yeah,
well. And I really thank you for that. That was lovely, and there's been some beautiful messages and comments
yeah, it was
on that
absolutely
tribute
lovely.
as well.
I was really honoured to be given the opportunity to do that again by you. And, he touched each and every single one of us in his own way, didn't he? And never to
He
be
did
forgotten,
indeed. Yeah,
ever.
he did indeed. Look, I
Yeah,
mean, even
exactly.
you know,
Exactly that.
um, he's with me every day. I keep that up on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in front of the Union Jack, but Peach would have appreciated it. I know he
Oh,
would.
100%.
Um,
100%.
yeah. So we're here to talk about you as a West Ham fan, Missy.
Yeah.
So let's ask the obvious question first. When and how did that start?
Well, I think that pretty much the decision was made for me before I was even born. My
Okay.
dad obviously was avid, proper avid West Ham through and through, black claret and blue. Obviously, when he met my mum, took her to Upton Park and obviously bowling, spiritual home really, wasn't it for us? And
Of
then
course.
when I was born, that were it. And he always used to have a laugh at me and tell me that when I was a little girl, I cried my heart out because I was desperate because I was like, I want to play for the first team. And he obviously had to tell me, no, darling, you're a girl. You can't play for the first team. It's just boys and men. And I broke down and got really upset about it.
Oh,
But
bless.
yeah, followed them obviously through and through since I say
Mhm.
before I was born and when I was little. Dad used to take me to bowling. I haven't really got. I know it's awful, but I've not got like major memories of bowling. Obviously, being so little.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we did, obviously, as I grew up and stuff, he took me. There was a match I can't remember. It's driving me insane because I was trying to wrap my brains last night to bring it to this. He
Yeah.
took me to a match. And it was against Brighton Hove Albion. It was a cup match. We won. Can't remember when it
Okay.
was though, but Carlton Cole and all that was playing. So whenever it was, however many years ago, but a long, long time ago,
Yeah, yeah.
um, we wanted to go to obviously the final game against United at bowling, but obviously couldn't get tickets, couldn't go, just watched it on the telly.
Yeah.
God, that was a tough one, that wasn't it really? And
Was. It was.
lots of thoughts about the board and not so positive really, I'm afraid. Got lied to, and it was just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
bit of a con, weren't it? um
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to that
yeah,
in a little while. But so basically, from birth, you were basically claret and blue. You had very little choice.
yeah.
Um, so I take it because am I right in believing you don't live in London anymore?
No, I was born in Hackney, but we moved out
Right.
when I was only 5, so I was little. So we moved sort of like to Kent and Surrey, but
Okay.
obviously kept following and kept supporting throughout and
Yeah.
up to now. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I mean, I was never born in London. I lived down by Gatwick Airport, Crawley, and my mum and dad were, I wouldn't say they were football fans, but they
Mm.
supported West Ham lightly.
Yeah.
They were both from around the East London area. You know, they followed the team, but they basically sparked a fire in me, which
Mm.
grew inside. So
Yeah, it does.
I kind of understand where you're coming from. I mean, both of my brothers, they went off and support Chelsea. That's
Yeah,
their choice. So
yeah.
um,
Well,
so
I'm
so
an only child, so that were it
yeah,
really. But
yeah.
my dad's
But
a Bromley boy, and
uh-huh.
his brother supports Spuds. So yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, so
I can put him in touch with a decent doctor. So going back to something else that you said in that previous part, you said about that your dad had to explain to you, sorry, darling, first team's just for the boys and the men.
Yeah.
At least now we can tell our children and our grandchildren that they can aspire to play for the ladies' first team.
Absolutely.
I mean, how times have changed in one lifetime. You know,
my God, definitely.
It's a fantastic thing. You know, I mean, I do follow the ladies' team a little.
Yeah, I do.
You know, but you know, I think it's a fantastic thing that now that we can say to our kids and grandkids, yeah, baby, you can go for it. Go for it. You
absolutely.
know? Yeah. So, you know, so do you, I mean, you say your dad took you to Upton Park, and you know, do you have any memory of, not necessarily your first game, but the first game that you remember watching and going, I really want us to win this game, or, you know, that you had absolute investment in the club or in the game, in the team?
So the main one was that Brighton Hove Albion game. Like I said, I just can't remember what year it were. But we won it. We did win it. And I was just so excited. I mean, obviously we got on the tube and all that and walked down, and that was amazing. You know, walking through the markets and all that. It just a massive experience, to be honest. But my main memory, and it's bad because it isn't at Bowling, it was up here. It were in February 2016. It were a match again, cup match, against Rovers Blackburn. And my mum and dad come up here, and we all went together. Took a selfie and all that. And Payet, we actually got to see Payet, although, you know, controversial, a bit snaky. It was all ended quite sour, didn't it, that? But that was amazing, that match, and we won. And I got that excited. I ended up, it was really bad. I actually ended up, because I'm really quite like animated anyway, but football I'm a lot worse. I ended up celebrating, and I thought this poor bloke that was in front of me, I ended up accidentally banging him on the head, and I hadn't meant to do it. And I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because we were celebrating a goal, do you know what I mean? And it was just like, oh, Jesus. But yeah, it was good. It was loads of banter, and we was obviously sat with all of them and with all the family, and it was brilliant. But at that point, obviously, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a West Ham family, which I've got now, you know, new guys and like Duke, Gates and everyone like that. And Cheeky Chop, that it's just helped me massively, obviously, over these last few months as well, with everything that happened. So it's been brilliant.
And that's why, you know, I added you to the WhatsApp groups, you know, you know, at the small one that we're in and the large one. But I did that because I knew that, you know, that you're quite popular, because you're a moderator on quite a few channels now, you know. A bit like Happy Hammerette, you know. I mean, she's moderator as well. And you know, there's more than one or two reasons for that. You know, I mean, there's many reasons that you girls have been chosen to moderate on the channels, and not least of all is that you have got a passion and a knowledge of football. So, you know that, and also, you know, that was digressing a little bit, but the reason I added you to the group, the main group, was because I wanted you to feel a part of the support and you know, the love network that has created. It's created. I mean, you know, there's guys in there from West Ham Network, Ford from Iron. There's Richard from Unofficial. You know, Jake's dad. Unfortunately, because of Jake's age, I can't add him to the group. No. But we got all the guys from Hammer's Chat in there, you know, Gio, Gonzo, Charlie, you know, a couple of the guys from the States, you know, it's great. And, you know, all of that was inspired by that man there, Pete.
Exactly that, precisely.
All of that was inspired by, and basically he helped me to get everybody together, you know. So I thank him for that, and I honour him with that, you know. That's why, you know, that's why I'm not going to close that group. You know, that group will
No.
always stay a part of my life anyway.
And he'll be really proud about you reinvigorating this channel. Do you know what I mean? He'll be so proud
Yeah,
and pleased. I know he will.
yeah. I know he will, babe. And you know, that's why. As we record this, that's why yesterday I did the live show with Barney, his dad, because I felt I hadn't done anything live on the channel since Peach passed away, and I felt that it was only right and fitting to reopen the show, to reopen the channel with his dad, you know, and I really enjoyed it. He wants to come on and do more stuff, so that's going to be brilliant. It'll be great for him. Yeah, and it will connect him with a little bit of his son's life that he knew very little about. So, you know, it's a great feeling for me knowing that maybe I'm just giving Barney a little bit more of his son back. You know,
definitely.
Anyway, on the subject of Peach, he had a nickname for you, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, Cheeky Treacle. Yeah, we came up with it. Well, he came up with it because we were talking about it. I mean, like I say, he made me a mod on his channel, which was amazing. Really, that was brilliant when that happened. But then when we got chatting, we were talking about Cheeky Chops, and he was going, "Well, what's your nickname normally?" And I'm like, "Well, sometimes I used to get called the Duchess. Sometimes I get called Treacle." And he was like, "Right, that's it. It's Cheeky Peachy, Cheeky Chops, and Cheeky Treacle." So we became the three Cheekies. So yeah, it was brilliant. It really was. Yeah, super special.
And it's quite strange because the way you spell treacle when you write it down is Treakal.
Let me think. Treakal. Yeah. Not like treacle. It's not like treacle.
Well, my brother spells it exactly the way that you would spell it on a tin of treacle.
Yeah.
But my son spells it Treakal because that's both their nicknames. Like my brother was Treacle back in the 60s. And my son, about 10 years ago, came home from school and said, "They've given me a nickname. They're calling me Treacle." And I went, "Oh, that was your uncle's nickname when he was at school." He was like, "Really?"
Yeah. Oh, that helps.
So, you know, that's really quite nice that there's that connection, you know, because, you know, when I saw your, is it your Twitter handle?
Yeah.
It's at Treacle, isn't it? So I thought, well, blimey, it's just kind of little connections everywhere going on, you know. Yeah, it's just crazy. So have you been to the London Stadium?
No, I don't want to go. It sounds bad, and it's terrible, really, because I know that in my heart, I'm West Ham through and through. But then I sometimes think, oh my God, am I West Ham? Because actually, I've never been to the London Stadium. Truth be told, obviously, because of where I live up north. So travel is not easy. Should be, but it isn't. I'm really busy with my job and stuff, so I get very waylaid with being able to kind of get free time. So a lot of the time, I'm kind of a bit of a sofa fan. Sit on the sofa, watching the telly and stuff, watching the matches on telly and online. So sometimes I think, am I really West Ham? Of course I am, but it kind of then makes me feel a bit nervous. I won't want to be going down there until we own it outright. I don't feel it's our home, and I know that's awful because obviously over the years it has got better. There's better like carpets and not carpets, you know what I mean, the ground and everything has improved. But I don't know. I will go one of these days. I mean, obviously would have gone with Dad, but so one of these days maybe, but no, not until we own it. Personal opinion, I suppose.
I can fully understand that. You know, there are a few thousand other people with a very similar attitude and outlook on it, and you know, everyone's entitled to their opinions, etc. And you know, I applaud that because, you know, listen, I didn't go to any games from 1986 up until just after the lockdown finished, you know, when we played Crystal Palace at home. And, you know, in fact, it was Happy Hammerette, cheeky
Mhm.
chops. It was her that encouraged me to come to a game and that, because I'd had a few years of turmoil and I wasn't very confident about getting up there and stuff.
Mm.
Anyway, the story's out there anyway. I came to the games because of her. And I didn't feel any less of a West Ham fan because I didn't go to any games.
No.
I didn't feel any less of a fan. So, and I never doubted myself as a West Ham fan. So you shouldn't either.
No,
That,
I know.
that you got to remember there are people thousands of miles away that would love to come
True.
to a game but can't.
Yeah.
So they have to watch it on TV or on streams and stuff. And they're no less a West Ham fan to me. I've interviewed a few of them, haven't I? The guys in Ghana, the guys in Gambia. I've, the guys in America, Canada, Peach. He didn't make Peach any less of a West Ham fan.
Oh,
so don't ever beat yourself up over that one, Missy. Honestly, don't. Okay, let's move on. Favourite player of all time, and it can become controversial if you want.
No, I mean, for me, I've always loved Carlton Cole.
Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, he's just humble. He's a humble guy. Even now, he's humble. He stands true to his word, and he was a bloody good player. Sorry for swearing. But yeah,
no, that's fine.
I just really I liked his style. I liked his passion. For me, he's one of my favourites. Obviously, we've got lots, but he stands out for me, definitely.
Fantastic. Good choice. Like that choice. I love Coley myself. I think he's great, and I follow him on Instagram and Twitter and all that as well. And he's just genuinely a good lad. Another fella that I follow on Instagram and stuff is Marlon Harewood.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah,
he's quite funny at times, actually.
Yeah.
But another great individual from around that period, Carlton Cole, brilliant. Is there any players at West Ham or that have been at West Ham that you really didn't like?
No, not really didn't like. I mean, I loved Dimitri Payet. I thought he was amazing. He absolutely, those free kicks and just his style of play was amazing. It's just such a shame how he went under such a cloud, really.
Yeah.
Happened, done it? But yeah, he was brilliant. But yeah, so I suppose my thoughts on him changed when it happened, when he left the way he did. So I wouldn't say I didn't really. I loved him at the time. Would I ever want him back? Because I think there'd been talk about it, weren't there? Rumours rumour mills as they happen. No, I don't think so, because I just, once a player leaves under certain ways, and I know it's, there's always two sides, lots of sides to every story, isn't there? But once they leave and it becomes toxic, don't come back. Let's not look back. Although I know we did that with Moyes. Again, I've got thoughts on that as well.
Would you welcome him back? Let's just say, for argument's sake, you're a season ticket holder at the stadium.
Yeah.
Would you welcome him back as a spectator? Would you acknowledge the fact that he was in state? Would you be part of the crowd that are singing his name, or would you be booing him, or would you just?
I don't think I'd boo. I don't think I'd boo him. I don't think I'd acknowledge him. I don't think so.
Indifferent.
Yeah, probably. It depends, I suppose. He did so much for us, didn't he? And he did amazing for us. So that's got to be acknowledged, and that's got to be identified.
And then did so little to get his move. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's not dwell on that. I mean, there are many players that I could name that have gone under a cloud. That Paul Ince, for example. What a great player he is, or was. He was fantastic for us. He left under a cloud. And I was part of that discussion. Is there any forgiveness for players like that? I believe there is. But there's no open door, though. You don't come back to the club. You don't work for the club again.
So. I mean, it's same with our Marco Arnautovic. That was under the cloud as well. So
I wouldn't have him back either, because it would be toxic in the changing room and stuff like that. So, right, okay. So, favourite kit in your history as a like which period or which colour scheme? Which top has been your favourite?
So, I've still got it in the wardrobe, and the Doc Martens one.
Yeah.
Can't remember what season or era it was from, but my other half decided to put it in a tumble dryer, and I've lost all of the sticker bits. I'm gutted because I need to find somewhere to buy one from.
Club store. Club store. They do all the retro shirts, and there are a couple of places also on eBay that do them.
Yeah, I like the retro stuff. I mean, I got last season.
I've still got my Dr. Martens one, but it is covered in paint and plaster because I accidentally wore it to work one day, bragging that we were in the FA Cup final that day, and got paint on it, etc., and lost the final. So, 2006, I wore it that day.
No good. But yeah, I like the retro tops. I love the retro kits. I mean, I do get this one. I've got this one. Born to Love Western. So obviously, I like getting this sort of stuff as well as the kits. But I got last season's. I got it for a Christmas present, obviously. And I actually I've got Antonio's name on the back because I love Antonio. I know it's controversial again, but I love Antonio. I know he's
why is it controversial?
Well, because I know some fans are just like, oh well, he's not, he's gone off the ball and he's a bit like pretentious and all that, and he doesn't do enough. Well, he works his socks off, and I think sometimes he's got a lot of stick. He's not a natural number 9. It's as simple as that. You're right. For me.
And you are right. There are people out there that are critical of him and stuff. And I have been in the past, but this is about you and your love of West Ham. So it's not controversial at all. This is your love of West Ham. It's your opinion. And feel free to give it, because, that's what this is about. This is about getting your story out there, really, to be fair with you.
No, but so for me, Antonio, I think, again, he's done so much for our club, and I think he's a really good geezer. I think he's a humble guy. I think he come across as a bit pretentious, but I love him.
Some of his goal celebrations have been exotic, haven't they?
I love them. I think they're brilliant. They're absolutely bloody brilliant. That cardboard cutout was fantastic. Do you know what I
mean? Brilliant. What was it? Dirty Dancing, was it? He said. Holding it. Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, but no, I love him. But
I do.
Well, I mean, Moyes is Moyes, isn't he? He plays players how he wants them and the formation he wants. He doesn't let them give any autonomy to do and play in positions they thrive in, and it frustrates not just me, all of us, doesn't it? And I don't know. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Players have they obviously spoken to, aren't they? And they said, look, this is what I want from you. Do you want to give it a go? And they'll say yes or no. So obviously Antonio was given the opportunity to be that, which he's gone with. But he's a winger, and you can see it. He literally wants to be everywhere, doesn't he? I mean,
the thing is, a modern striker these days isn't an out-and-out number 9 anyway. And that's what I think Antonio is showing us, that he's not an out-and-out number 9. No. I will get out there on the left. I'll get out there on the right. I'll save a ball from going over the goal line on a corner. I'll be there, mate, So, that's Antonio, and I agree with you. I think he's a wonderful player. Yes, he has had some slack moments, but who hasn't? Cristiano Ronaldo's had them. Messi must have had them. So let's not criticise the man too heavily, because when he pulls that bloody shirt on, he gives 150%. So,
and I think as long as players do that, that's all we ever really want. That's all I know. I want. As long as they give 110 or 150%, and they prove that they can run their asses off and push and press and show passion. Mate. For me, that should be all we're after. Win, lose or draw.
I remember my old football manager, he long passed away actually, a long time ago. But when I was a young lad, and he said to us, I want you boys having to change your studs every week. I want you to run that much. Do you know? Because we had screw-in studs back then when I was a lad. And he was saying to us, I want you to change your studs every week. I want them worn out, because that's how much he wanted us running around on the park,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I love about Antonio. That's what I also really, really like about Nathan Gued as well. That boy
Oh,
don't stop
yeah.
working, does he?
No,
He don't stop
definitely not.
working.
No.
And I got a funny feeling he's going to be right up there in the running for Hammer of the Year this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just hope he can keep not uninjured. Do you know what I mean? Because
keep fit.
Yeah, keep fit, definitely. And yeah, our new site that what is it, Paqueta is he's starting to come through
mustard.
and he's starting to show.
He's mustard, mate. I'm telling you. And
yeah.
I've seen a couple of videos of games that Scamacca played in when he was with Satolo.
Yeah.
And and it weren't highlighting him at all, but because he was in the team, I've looked at these videos and I've watched him as much as I can during the game. And I think we're not doing him justice in playing him the way we are, because again, a little bit like Antonio, if you used to say to him, look, we want you in the middle when the crosses are coming in. So if like any of the wingers have got the ball, make your way in. But if you get a chance to drop back and pick up the play and take a shot from 30 yards, do it, mate. Just do it. Because I'm telling you what, that boy's got a shot like a rifle. Honestly, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so 100%. Good. So, I think, there's going to be some improvement this year. And I think next year, there may be a change in management. But I think next year, if we can retain the players that we've bought in, like Paqueta and Aguerd, I think if we can keep those players, I think we've got a strong chance of getting up there in the top half of the table next season and perhaps challenging for Europe again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With the players that we've got, it's not impossible.
No, we've got the makings of it. We just need a manager that's more attacking in wanting to do than
we've got all the bricks, we've got all the mortar. All we need now is the bricklayer.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. That I like that.
Yeah. So that's it. And for me, I actually quite like the idea of the what is his name now? I can't remember. He's the guy that's over in Germany. Is it a German team? Yeah, he hasn't even got any history of football management. He was just world champion 3 times running in that football manager game on the PlayStation or on the Xbox or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he was like world champion 3 years running or something. Something Gill, is it?
I can't remember now, but literally it's on the. I can picture who it is.
Yeah. But anyway, it's him. I think.
It's a redhead.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll put his picture and his name up in the edit, so we'll have it there. Oh yeah, it's him. You see that? That's who it is. It's that fella there. Oh, brilliant. So, I've got a couple more questions, and I won't keep you too long because I actually have got to go to work, and I'm sure you've got a busy day ahead of you. All right, so your hopes for this season. What do you hope we achieve this season?
Staying up is for me just the most important thing. We've got to focus on where we're at and push and press to stay safe. If the worst happened and we didn't get enough points to survive the drop, it worries me on the fact that we'd have to sort of build again, start again, and players we've got and they're starting to come good go. And it worries me how long it would take us to come back up. So I think our primary focus is that. It worries me the fact that we've got obviously Conference League games coming up. And then obviously all of that kicks in. Any more injuries? We've got so many injuries again, key players. So that's my main hope. My main hope is we do, survive the drop. We're out of it now at the moment, but it's so tight. It's a bit of a worry.
And of course, we've got domestic cup games coming up as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Trophy would be
yeah.
nice, but let's see.
Well, I think Conference League title would be lovely for us this season.
Would be,
and survival, of course.
That would be
I
amazing.
mean, as you say, I believe that Premiership survival is the primary focus.
Yeah.
And anything over and above that is going to be silverware in the locker, isn't it? So so that's good. Any players you'd like us to recruit? Realistic player that you'd like us to recruit? Anybody taken your eye?
No realistic player to recruit is in player, but for me, and this is going to be a bit, probably people are just going to watch this and go, "What are you on about?" But I think you probably would need a bit more experience. But I want to see Scotty Parker come back, and I want him as our manager. That's what I would really love to see happen. Him and Nobes. It worries me what's happening with Noble. Director of football coming out with comments about Ricey, and that's a bit like I'm worried that he's a bit of a puppet. But again, that's just my thoughts. But yeah, so not a necessary player, but manager in the future. I'd love to see Scott Parker back because I loved him. I loved Scott Parker.
I agree. He was a great player and he's a great character. I'm not so sure of his managerial credentials in working with players the likes of Paquetá and these let's call them foreign flair players. I think he's our marquee players, if you prefer. I'm not sure he could work with them on a level that they would be used to or happy with. Because I mean, look, don't get me wrong, he done really well when he was at Fulham for a while, and he done all right when he was at Bournemouth for a little while. But the job at Bournemouth got too big for him.
Yeah, he went under a cloud, didn't he? Again, that was a bit.
Yeah. And I would worry that if we were to appoint him as manager, I would worry that we would lose a lot of the cohesion we've got in the squad.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he'd be great in the changing room, but I don't know about his managerial flair. I don't know if he's got enough. Maybe as an assistant manager. I mean, like maybe an assistant manager in the future.
Yeah,
perhaps,
or
like him being, one of the managerial crew, if you like. I would accept that. I mean, look at Kevin Nolan. He is no manager, but what a great coach. I mean, everybody at the club loves him as a coach. So. They like working with him and so on and so forth. And we get a lot of ex-players come back as coaches, And that's part of the West Ham philosophy, is to recruit our ex-players as coaches and youth development and stuff like that. Because, if you're being taught by a guy that's already been there and done it, what better motivation have you got? That's it, And I think, there's a lot of criticism on the academy at the moment. And I think, well, hold on, everybody. It'll come good again. We are actually supplying good players to the professional game. It might not be in our own club, but we are supplying players to the professional game. And that can only be good for our academy.
Yeah, I get that. I think for me, obviously you hear things, don't you? And it's whether or not you believe everything you hear and read. I like to hear and read and research, do my own research, and then make a decision and make an informed decision on what I think is the right or wrong. Academy of football. It's a bit controversial. I keep using this word controversial, but it is at the moment. It's a bit of a hard one because, like, for me, I was furious. I know it's years ago now, but when they did what they did to Grady Dean Garner. Shocking. I was furious with that. We seem to be hemorrhaging our youth. Now, I'm not saying that all of our youth players are.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, not all of them can be ready. Not all of them can be ready to come up and go into, you know, get trials into the first team. Some have to go out and need to get more experience. Totally get that, and I'm on board with that. That's about nurturing and developing, in it. What I don't like is us just getting rid, and when they have played, they've shown something. I know Ashby, he showed so much, and I get, you know, from what I'm hearing, you know, attitude and all this, wanting more money and okay, perhaps, but he had something. He read the game well, as far as I saw from what I saw of him. And he could have bought so much. It's like Aaron Cresswell. He's done in my opinion. He is great servant, done lots for us. It's time for him to move on. You know, we've got to bring in fresh players and young players. The under 18s, they're absolutely kicking ass at the moment. So, and I hear Moyes don't go to the games. Why not? Why doesn't he go? And why doesn't he listen? Why doesn't he hear? You know, and hopefully nodes will start to get him to listen. But I don't know. It worries me a little bit that we don't nurture them as maybe we should. But I'm not there. I'm not there. You know, I have no involvement from that perspective.
I mean, even in his short time as manager with us, Gianfranco Zola went to go and watch youth games. I did as well, actually. He went to go and watch youth games. You know, that some of the players that are about now used to say, "Oh, you know, when we would look round and Franco Zola's there, and it's like, oh my God, I've got to perform." You know what I mean? It was like, you know, because he was such an iconic player. I think that kind of gave the younger lads, when he turned up at the games, it gave the younger lads thought, look, oh, hang on, he's looking at us. We better show something. You know what I mean? And that really does encourage better performances, more drive and enthusiasm for the game. You know, and I think David Moyes should show his face every now and again, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of sending, you know, one of these lower down coaches to go and watch them.
Definitely.
Is, you know, I mean, they do get watched, but not by him.
Yeah, of course.
You know. Yeah. And one man's opinion's not always the same as your own. So, you know, I mean, really and truly, if you want an opinion, go and make your own opinion. That's how I would see that. You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
You know? But so, anything you want to ask me or tell me that I haven't covered yet? Because, you know, I try not to script this. I just let this flow.
No, I don't think so. I just okay, it's pretty cool, this.
Could get used to it, eh?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like a conversation, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, and it's nice. It's great. It's great to connect and thank you so much.
Oh no, it's my pleasure, because you know, the more people that agree to do this, the more videos I get out there, and the more stories are out there, and people love a story, you know, and they love to look at other people's opinions. I mean, okay, we are recording this, but it will go out with a live stream, live chat, and I'll be in the studio so that I can put the live chat on the screen. So it will be sort of semi-interactive. So it'll be great. Hopefully you can make it into the chat, and we'll do the release at a time that's convenient for you. So, you know, I mean, I can work around any time scale really, because I'm self-employed and I'm not working a lot. So I've got all the time in the world to accommodate this. So, we'll start to wrap things up. Thank you so much, honestly, Missy. I really appreciate it. And you know, you're welcome to come on to anything else that I do as well. If ever you want to do a guest appearance or come on and give an opinion, you know, I'm going to be doing like like phone-in shows. So, you know, I haven't got a phone line connected to it, but I can send people the link and they can come in off screen but be heard like a phone call. You know, we'll do that. You know, like Luke Legend, he very rarely shows you. In fact, he never shows his face. That's because he's hideously ugly. You know, I can only assume if he don't want to show his face, he must be hideous. He must have like 3 noses or something.
Some people just don't want to come on screen, do they? Bless him.
I know, bless him. But he'll appreciate the shout out, though. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
But anyway, listen, I really do thank you. And yeah, as I said, anytime you want to come on, you're welcome. I'm going to play a little video for us to go out to. And I'll chat to you in the green room after the video.
All right. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.